On today's episode, we're going to be talking about some great reference material for painting your 3D prints. Stick around. Hey, welcome back to The First Layer, and my name's Richard, and today we are talking about color mixing. I found these three books, and it wasn't me who originally found the books. It was Jerry Knapp, our good friend from 3D Print and Paint, and Jerry actually talked about this book on a Facebook posting that he made, that he had gotten this book. So I wanted to have a look for myself. So I went on Amazon and found that there were three books in the series. So I got all three. Here's the killer about this, is that these three books were $11 a piece, or $11.99 a piece, or something like that. I will leave a link down in the description below as to where you can get these books. And I would really appreciate if you are going to get them, use the link, because it certainly goes a long way to helping out our channel. Now, let me grab a quick little model and I will use it to demonstrate. So when you're painting your 3D printed models, a lot of people ask me, Rich, how do I get proper skin tones? And the best way to get proper skin tones is to practice. And this is Han Solo, as you guys can see here. You can see there's a lot of variation in the skin when the light hits it. You can see that there are, the shadows look natural. Everything, I'll come and give you guys a really close look here. So you can see how natural everything looks. He's got a little bit of redness around his nose. His lips aren't too bright. I do still have to finish the eyes, but you can see his eyebrows look a little bit more normal. We have a little scar on his chin. And he's looking quite good in terms of you know, the look of this model. Now, how did I get there? Well, it took me a lot of practice to get to doing skin tones the way that I am now. Now, that being said, I use a variety of paints, and I use everything from Vallejo's to inks from FW. The FW inks are probably some of my favorite. Let's see if we can get that to focus. There we go. I also use artist acrylics. And you'll see I've used these a lot. If you watch any of the ones where you see me painting, you'll see that I use a lot of artist acrylics. Now, Jerry Knapp found this book and I saw it, and I immediately went over to Amazon to have a look at it. And to be perfectly honest with you, it is an amazing book. I'm just going to zoom out here a little bit so you guys can see the whole thing. This book has everything that you need. It talks about paint colors. Below you're going to find paint colors needed to create the skin, eye, lip, and hair color tones in this book. Keep in mind that some color names will vary depending on the manufacturer, and that much is very true. Everybody has their own way of labeling their paints, but you can see the oils and acrylics. These are what they're recommending that you have to make any one of the ones that are in this book. Now, it also has notes down here at the bottom. We see we have an abbreviated some of the color names throughout this book, such as black in place of ivory black, as mentioned above. Okay, so if you're looking, when they say black, they mean ivory black. So this book is by William F. Powell. There are three books in this series. This was the first one. I bought all three books because they were only $11 a piece. Now, it'll talk to you about basic skin tone palettes, basic mixes, color theory. This is important. Color theory is very important because you want to learn a little bit about that. There's instructions on the front. They get into the basic mixes of different skin tones and what colors you need to make those skin tones. And then there's that color theory that we were talking about. Now, the color theory is in all three books, and it's there as a necessity. This one also has facial planes. So because it goes into such detail about skin, we can see that, you know, some areas are going to be lighter than others. And if you paint that way, light can only enhance what you've already been doing. So if we look at Han Solo here, you can see that there is brighter areas on the cheek, like right here. We can point out. Let me see if I can grab something here that will help us out. we can see that we've got a little bit of light on the forehead. Not so much on the chin, but on that crest of the chin we've got it. We've got a little bit on the nose as well. As we turn it, we can see that the light is hitting it in different ways as well. There's that top of that cheekbone where we're going to get the lightest look. So when I painted this, I used what I know about color theory and light placement because of my photography background and my drawing background, where to put all the colors that I needed to make this look real from a distance. Now you get up really nice and close and you can see that there are a little bit of layer lines. If we look here, let's see if we can get Mr. Ford in focus. We can see here that there is a little bit, there's a few layer lines right in there. I could have done a better job of cleaning that up. It's really hard to get texture. I don't know how well this is going to come out, but it's really hard to get texture in the face. But you can see here where I'm a little darker down here, but I'm a little brighter right here. And that, again, comes from using different tonal paints. So this color theory on facial planes, very informative. Same thing with the lips and the ears, something I would definitely do. And then we get into skin tone recipes. These talk about the colors used and how to mix those colors for what you want. There's hair, there's eyes. I love this part about the eyes because eyes are some of the most difficult things to get right. So if you are wanting to do a blue or a green eye, then you've got this whole list of paints that you can use to get that look for your eye. Now again, these are brush strokes, but this also applies to not only doing this on canvas, but again, doing this on a three-dimensional object. This is all going to work. Hair color, same thing. You've got natural highlights. Like in red, I find red hair the most difficult to do. Auburn hair and red hair are probably the most difficult to do, as well as a golden blonde hair is also very difficult to do. But you start out with your darkest, then you go up to your main color, and then you do your highlights. And again, it goes through all the different hair combinations that you would find. There are more skin tone recipes here. This is sort of the master class on it. And then as we go to the back of the book, we are going to find a color mixing grid where you can do some of your mixing right here on the grid. I'll probably never use it, but there's a great conversion chart right here as well, which is really, really nice. And then you have recipe variations that you can go into. So we have a master recipe, okay? And this master recipe can do all of these just by lightening or darkening the tones and adding a few different color combinations into them. So this book, I highly recommend if you're going to be painting anything that is figure-based, or superhero based or anything like that. This is a great book. Now moving on to the other two books in this series. The first one in the series is Color Mixing Recipes for Oil and Acrylic. Now, great book. Again, it has a lot of the stuff that we just previously saw in the other book. Again, there's that color theory. I'm really happy that this is repeated in all three books. Some people may find it unnecessary, but they don't sell these books as a group. They only sell them individually. So there again are more color mixing recipes. This one is also going to have, it'll touch on some of the other recipes for skin tones as we move through. Let me see if I can find those skin tones for you. And these are value graying. Here we go. So portrait colors. These are colors that you would use in a portrait. Again, there's that little bit about eyes, mouths, and nose and ears, and then another conversion chart in the back, as well as another one of these color mixing guides. And then finally, the last one is for landscape. So if you're a landscape painter or you are doing terrain for tabletop miniatures, or you just want to spruce up the look of something that you've done, like the Hobbit house off of Gambody, this might be a good book to look into, because again, it breaks down all of those colors and tells you how to mix them. And these pages are beautifully nice and thick. They're good, heavy cardstock, so they're not going to bend easy on you. They're not going to dog ear on you, that kind of thing. They're really a good setup to have as reference, if nothing else. These books, the author of these books are William F. Powell. He's an internationally recognized artist and one of America's foremost colorists. He's taught school. He's studied this. He's been in this for more than 45 years. So it's a man who knows what he's talking about. The biggest thing that we struggle with as artists and as 3D printing enthusiasts is getting color right for what we're trying to do. And I think that these 3 books at $11 and change a piece are probably the best 3 books that you could have in your collection of media for reference. Go ahead, get them. I'm going to leave a link down in the description below so that you can get them from my Amazon link. I do get a little bit of a kickback off of that. It helps the channel. So I would really appreciate if you guys would go ahead and get yourself a set of these books. So check them out, get them if you want them. If you're going to do painting like I do painting, you're going to want to have these books. So until I see you guys next time, please remember, if you were new here and you got something out of today's episode, leave a comment down below. Hit that like button. Also, smash that subscribe button if you're new, so you get notified every time that we do a brand new episode or we're going to do a live stream. Coming up this week, we've also got a brand new episode coming out on Saturday, which will be our review of the Auteur Laser Master 2 Pro desktop diode laser engraver. A wonderful machine. I'm so glad that we have one. And I've been burning like crazy with it since we got it. As a matter of fact, we're burning some stuff right now. So you're going to see some great B-roll on that. So I would recommend these books to anybody and everybody that is in the 3D making space. 3D printing, whether you're doing tabletop miniatures, which are about yay big, right up to statue busts or full-size models. So until I see you next time, remember that the first layer is always your foundation to a great print. And we'll see you guys on Saturday. Bye for now.